Good morning. This is Oscar Sampou reporting to you live from the BRIC Arts Media podcasting studio in downtown Brooklyn. I wanted to share with you today a discussion regarding the controversy at Aretha Franklin's funeral, entailing some of the things that were stated by Pastor Williams. It's very interesting and ironic in life that anytime you give people the truth, there's always going to be somebody lurking in the shadows that you could regard as an adversary. The general format of eulogizing somebody at a funeral is not what he used, and I respect that. I respect the sensitivity of the Franklin family. I also, at the same time, understand why Pastor Williams did what he did. When you look at the evolution of Aretha Franklin's musical legacy over the course of 50 years, there was a message that was being conveyed to people. She was a social, political, and spiritual warrior and paradigm for people not only around the world, but in particular within the body of the United States. If Pastor Williams had not discussed things that he discussed, he would not have been doing his job in front of God, and he would not have been assisting people, because as a pastor, in many ways, there is a parallel between what a shepherd does with a flock of sheep and what a pastor is supposed to do with a congregation of people. A shepherd's job is to oversee their development and their evolution as a flock. As a pastor, he has the responsibility of preparing people in front of God before God's Day of Atonement, and he also has the responsibility of moving them away from current dangers and also impending dangers. At one point during the service, he made a statement that Black lives don't matter, and Stevie Wonder yelled at him, "They do matter." Well, the truth of the matter is, if they really mattered, you wouldn't have had the type of carnage that you had last year in Chicago, where nearly 1,000 people were killed. It is ironic that here we are approximately 50 years after Aretha Franklin recorded the song Respect. I was 4 years old at the time and remember it. And for me as a person, I was aware of the external problems that were going on within society regarding racial issues. As a child, I also was aware of certain things that were going on within the context of my own family, because I was exposed to external and internal racism, being the son of a West African father. My mother was American Indian and Black American. But it's sad to say, but very true, my father's people don't particularly care for white people, and they don't like Black Americans very much either. I think one of the problems that Black America has with this concept of crime is that it knows itself and the cultural conventions of the American white man. Where my father comes from in Guinea, West Africa, the bigger culture is Islamic. In Islamic tradition, if you kill a man, you are put to death. They are not corporatizing mayhem and giving you the impression that the essence of life does not have a lot of value. In this society, not only is murder a corporation, but it is a viable sport. Pastor was preparing people for the reality of what is real. It's ironic that when Aretha Franklin recorded this song, not only was the culture of music in this country very strong and encouraging, but it was positive. At the time that music is being produced and released, it is a reflection of where society is socially and spiritually. Despite all the problems in this country, in the 60s, there was the sense that we will prevail, we will get beyond this, and we will be better than ever. The attitude now is bunk it. I'm going for mine, and if you step on my foot, I'm going to take yours off with a chainsaw. It is ironic that when this song was recorded by Miss Franklin, there was a sense of respect and optimism. 50 years later, in 2018, you have many things in abundance in this society. Respect is not one of them. And sad to say, even less in volume is a sense of dignity. It is absolutely amazing that there is just a general sense of irresponsibility. When you present a problem like this to Black America, there is no accountability. The whole concept of people kneeling at football games, The reality is there are discrepancies with the police department, but the proper approach should be, before you complain about them, you need to stop killing each other. Because in essence, what you're really telling them as a law enforcement body throughout the country is leave us alone so we can finish eradicating ourselves. That is an institutional problem within Black America, and it's an institutional problem within the social psychology of Black America. I appreciate Reverend Williams for being very adamant in what he had to say, because in essence, what he was telling people is that what has happened now is a desecration of what Ms. Franklin embodied. I remember as a young boy listening to her at the age of 4, and the spirit that resonated from Ms. Franklin passed through me like an X-ray moves through the human body. It resonated everywhere. It is a sacrilege of respect and dignity and power that her voice encaptured and her personality as a woman. What is taking place currently in Black America is a desecration of what Ms. Franklin embodied as a social, political, and spiritual ambassador of many things and many people. I agree with Reverend, because what he was saying in essence is Ms. Franklin would say to you is you need to step back and take a look at yourself, because the message that I not only tried to share with people in the United States, but the world, and what I was trying to convey about Black America is not of importance to you, because you are running amok like a colony of gorillas on angel dust. It is obscene, it is disrespectful, and it is ungodly, the behavior that is so commonplace today. The lack of responsibility and acknowledgement of what is wrong is exacerbating the problem. You have a problem within the Black American male population that nobody wants to address. In essence, you're functioning like an autoimmune disease. You can do what you do because the cultural conventions of the American white man. He's running a reconfigured plantation. That's all the American jail system is. That's the reason why he's looking over his shoulder and wondering why, as a man, at any given moment, the sweat between his legs has more value than his heart beating in his chest. There is no accountability, and Reverend Williams was right on point with what he had to say. God bless him, and we will convey that message in the future.